basketball. On behalf of the Washburn University Board of Regents, the faculty, administration, and staff, I welcome you to this commencement in Washburn University's 153rd year. And now, please stand and join members of the Washburn Singers under the direction of Dr. Kevin Kellum in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. I want to thank Dr. Kellum, who conducted the choir. The music department is such an important part of Washburn, and we are so pleased members of the Washburn Singers are here with us today. Please let's give them another round of applause. Also, please join me in expressing thanks to Mrs. Norma Pettijohn, organist, and the Washburn Faculty Brass Quintet for providing music this afternoon. I would like to direct your attention to the international flags surrounding the commencement platform. In recognizing Washburn University's impact locally, nationally, and globally, the flags that have been posted represent the countries of the world which have had students attend Washburn. These countries are represented by flags above the commencement platform. Flags along the sides of the podium represent countries which currently have students attending Washburn. And now, Miss Alexis Simmons, outgoing president of the Washburn Student Government Association, will introduce the platform party.
To the graduates, congratulations. To the friends and families, thank you for your enduring support. And to the faculty, thank you for the time and effort you constantly give to create an exceptional educational experience at Washburn. I would like to introduce the platform party. Please stand as I call your name and remain standing until all are introduced. Dr. Thomas Averill, Professor Emeritus, English Department, and Grand Marshal. Dr. Eric Grosbech, Vice President for Student Life. Dr. Richard Litke, Executive Director of Enrollment Management. Mr. Clark Coco, Dean, Washburn Institute of Technology. Mr. Marshall Meek, President, Washburn University Foundation. Dr. John Mulliken, Associate Professor and Chair of the Biology Department. Dr. Lindsay Modelmog, Assistant Professor, Political Science. Ms. Cynthia Holthouse, Special Assistant to the President. Dr. Pam Foster, Equality Opportunity Director. Mr. Mark Freed, University Counsel. Mr. Mike Mustaine, President of the Washburn University Alumni Association. Dr. Laura Stevenson, Dean, College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Pat Munzer, Dean, School of Applied Studies. Dr. David Sollers, Dean, School of Business. Dr. Monica Scheibmeyer, Dean, School of Nursing. The Honorable Michelle De La Isla, Mayor of Topeka. Dr. JuliAnn Mazachek, Vice President of Academic Affairs. Mr. Terry Beck, Board of Regents. Mr. Brent Bowles, Board of Regents. Mr. Paul Hoffer, Vice Chair, Board of Regents. Mrs. Blanche Parks, Board of Regents. Mr. William Sneed, Board of Regents. Ms. Jackie Summerson, Honorary Degree Recipient, and Dr. Jerry Farley, President, Washburn University. Please be seated.
And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the President of Washburn University, Dr. Jerry Farley.
Hello, everyone. We welcome you to this celebration of completion of a milestone in these students' education. Students, you have reached your goal of obtaining a degree. You have earned the right to be very proud of what you have accomplished. And you have the right to celebrate this achievement with your family, friends, and indeed the entire academic community here at Washburn University. Your success is due in large part, if not almost totally, of your own making. Nonetheless, you would not have achieved this pinnacle without having supportive family, friends, faculty, and alumni. They have served as mentors and role models for you, and you will now assume many of those responsibilities for the next generation. We all congratulate you on a job well done in your academic career. You have met the expectations that you set for yourself. You have learned things on your path to becoming a college graduate that will serve you in your careers and in your life. You will use the skills which you have developed in ways that may be difficult for you to even imagine today. You have likely overcome many hurdles and many challenges. Perhaps you had second thoughts and some anxiety as you progressed through your academic career. Maybe it was those word problems in algebra. Maybe it was an athletic skill you were honing. Perhaps it was a science project or that first major paper in your discipline. But you worked hard. You developed the discipline required to succeed. Now, this ceremony that we're all participating in today is steeped in tradition. The music that was played before and will be played afterwards, and as we marched in. The gowns that we are wearing, the funny little hats you have on this afternoon, the faculty robes and the colorful hoods, the ceremonial march into the arena. Perhaps you were a member of a Greek organization, had a secret handshake. Maybe there were oaths that you took in some of the honorary and fraternal organizations. The mascots, our nicknames, the songs, all of this is a part of a heritage. And this ceremony joins you with that heritage from the past and links you to the future. You will ensure that these traditions carry on. You must join another community when you leave Washburn University. And in that community, you too will develop new skills. But you recognize that there's going to be change. Change is inevitable. Sometimes it is welcome, sometimes not so much. But change occurs every single day, sometimes in small, incremental, almost inconsequential ways, and other times much more globally, much more radical, and often very swiftly. Some of you arrived at Washburn University direct from your parents' home and your parents watching, helping you. Some of you came from jobs. Maybe you had stopped out from college for a while. Each of you had a little different pathway to get here. But you know that the intensity of the university was far different than the intensity of high school. You know that the intensity of your future employment is going to be far different than it was while you were in school. The change for you required modifying what you had done in the past. Many times when we are in the midst of change, the change is racing around us, is swirling around us. It's difficult for us to assess exactly what is occurring. Now, this is true of the small changes in our daily lives, our activities. It's also true in those large systemic changes. An author whom I enjoy, his name is Thomas Friedman. He wrote a book a few years ago, The World is Flat, a seminal study on today's international environment. He published a book 2 summers ago. The title of it is called Thank You for Being Late. He suggests in this book that it's not just change which challenges us and intensifies our anxiety. He contends that it's the acceleration of change and the resulting flow of ideas, and they all are together challenging the ability that we have to adapt as individuals. Think for a moment. 500 years ago, scientific and technological progress seemed to be gradual. And even after it had occurred, some technological advance had occurred, it took some time for it to make its way around the world. Could be 50 years or 100 years before something that occurred in a European city made its way out into the world and became uncomfortable then for people that were trying to adapt and adjust. Actually, if 500 years ago you were here on the prairie, there wouldn't be anyone else here. But your life, if you had been here, wouldn't be far different than 400 years or 600 years before, because change was occurring so slowly and took so long to make its way into everyday life. In the 20th century, it still took about 20, maybe 30 years, he proposes, for technology to take one big giant step that the world would become, when they become aware of it, would be uncomfortable. Think changes that occurred at the turn of the 20th century. Automobiles, aircraft, telegraph, manual typewriter. Anybody know what a manual typewriter is? Just checking. Mainframe computers that would fill the most part of this room. Today, the time from introduction to adoption, according to Mr. Frieden, continues to shrink and has become so short that it's on the order of 5 to 7 years. Introduction to adoption. The world is moving faster than that. We must be able to change, but he also tells us that our ability to adapt as individuals, it takes us 10 years. So those items, those technological changes that go around the world in 5 to 7 years, it takes us 10 years. We're always behind. We're always going to feel uncomfortable. We're always going to have anxiety. By the time something has changed and we have adapted, something new has changed and we're behind again. Mr. Friedman suggests that technological changes have reshaped how people create, how they innovate, collaborate, communicate, and even how we think. As an example, he traces some of the recent changes, and one particular one that he believes is the change that had the greatest impact on us, particularly in the last 10 years. What would have been introduced in 2007 that could have impacted all of us so dramatically? Do I hear a ringing of a device? Smartphones. Smartphones. He contends that changed, that single thing changed most dramatically what has occurred since then. At that time, in 2007, just pushed over the 1 billion mark of people using the internet. Acceleration of that change. It's changed how we do business, and it's changed how we communicate with one another. Now, Intel, they make microprocessing chips. They make microchips that drives a lot of things. Back in probably about early 1970s, they had a chip that was called a 4004, and it was dramatically fast. Now, they've updated that a little bit, and the current chip that they have is a lot faster. In fact, the number that I have read is that the current chip is 3,500 times faster than the one from the mid to late 70s. And it is 90,000 times more energy efficient, and it's 60,000 times lower in cost. That's enormous. That's an enormous rate of change. How do we relate to that? 90,000, 60,000 change. Think of it this way, as Mr. Friedman put it. What if you had a 1971 Volkswagen Beetle? And you know what that is? Volkswagen Beetle. Cool little car. What if it had improved at the same rate as that Intel's microchip? The power of microchips. Today, that Beetle could go approximately 300,000 miles an hour. That Beetle would get 2 million miles a gallon of petrol, and that Beetle would cost 4 cents. Amazing, the speed of improvement. If it were applied to fuel efficiency, you could drive your entire lifetime on 1 tank of gasoline. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now you may be asking, you should be, why should this be important to me? I'm a recent graduate. We have studied the most current theories, the most current concepts. We have completed our education with either an associate, a baccalaureate, or a master's degree, and we know most of the current ideas. And in addition to that, you have grown up with this change and the acceleration of the change. Winston Churchill is credited with saying about 70 years ago, after the Battle of El Alamein, quote, "This is not the end. This is not even the beginning of the end." I would turn that around and say, this is not even the beginning of the acceleration of change which we will see. Now, my point is that you must dispel any fleeting thoughts that you have that your education is over. Your education is not over. You know what I'm about to say. I want to emphasize, your education will never end. The acceleration of change will only continue. We can't stop it. We don't want to stop it. But your Washburn education, in my opinion, has prepared you for this. You're better prepared to embrace the increasing acceleration of change than many, many, many people before you. Your education, your knowledge must continue to grow at a dizzying pace. Washburn has provided you with a way that you can develop those skills, and you have the talent to do so. You can succeed. I urge you to embrace the concept of lifelong learning. None of us can slow down the technological process that will occur, and the only adequate response to the change that you will see is that we will adapt, we will adopt those changes as they come. And you are prepared to do that. You will be the leaders that will carry us along in making these dramatic changes, which will improve everyone's life around the globe faster than we can even imagine. So I challenge you, be a lifelong learner. Don't take any breaks from learning longer than a spring break would have given you. Make certain that you embrace this concept. Congratulations, you have achieved a pinnacle that few people in the world can possibly match. We're delighted to welcome you to the Washburn alumni family. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Paul Hofer, Vice Chair, Washburn University Board of Regents, will confer an honorary degree to Miss Jackie Summerson.
Step up here. Make it official.
We invite everyone to turn to page 34 on your program to read about Ms. Summerson's accomplishments. Be it known that inasmuch as honorary degrees awarded to men and women who, because of their scholarly contributions, meritorious public service, or other noteworthy achievements have come into universal high regard, the Board of Regents of Washburn University does therefore confer upon Jackie Summerson the degree Doctorate of Commerce with all of the rights, privileges, and insignia pertaining thereto. In testimony whereof, this diploma is issued with the signatures of the President of the University, the Chair of the Board, and the seal of the University affixed at Topeka, Kansas on this 12th day of May, 2018. Jackie Summerson, for your leadership, your support of higher education, and your dedication to helping others, Washburn University honors you and itself by conferring upon you this honorary degree in token thereof. I cause you to be vested with the appropriate academic hood and grant you this diploma.
Please welcome Mr. Mike Mustaine, President, Washburn Alumni Association Board of Directors.
Today we honor a special group of Washburn alumni, the Golden Ichabods. Golden Ichabods are alumni who graduated 50 years ago or more. This weekend, the classes of 1968, 1958, and 1948 are celebrating their 50, 60, and 70-year anniversaries. Several members of those classes are here today. On behalf of the Washburn Alumni Association, I thank you for your years of service and devotion to Washburn. The university's reputation is built on the achievements of alumni like you. Please come forward and receive your alumni medallion.
Corrine Townsend Fields, Bachelor of Music Education, 1948. Jane Bronson Kafer, Bachelor of Arts, 1958. Larry D. Carr, Bachelor of Arts, 1958, Master of Science, 1965, Emporia State University. Joyce Alley, Master of Education, 1968. Barbara Phillips Baldwin, Bachelor of Business Administration, 1968. Suzanne McLean Bisset, Bachelor of Arts, 1968, Master of French, 1974, McGill University. Christine Harney Casper, Bachelor of Education, 1968. Mary Macy Hoffman, Bachelor of Arts, 1968. Walter Hurd, Bachelor of Arts, 1968. Dr. Theodore A. Johnstone, Bachelor of Arts, 1968, Master of Arts, 1970, University of Kansas, PhD, 1974, University of Kansas. Kathy Rudolph McDonald, Bachelor of Education, 1968, Master of Education, 1973, Wayne State University. Dolores Oliva, Bachelor of Education, 1968. Jan Perney, Bachelor of Arts, 1968, Doctor of Education, Indiana University, 1974. Linda Mag Perney, Bachelor of Music Education, 1968, Master of Education, Indiana University, 1971. Fred Pinkham, Bachelor of Business Administration, 1968. Linda Worrell Rouser, Bachelor of Education, 1968. John Swain, Bachelor of Business Administration, 1968. Russ Vodder, Bachelor of Arts, 1968. Teresa Marcellet Wilson, Bachelor of Arts, 1968. Glenn Winchell, Bachelor of Business Administration, 1968. Jackie McQuillan Summerson, Bachelor of Arts, 1968.
We truly hope that all of you that are graduating today, that you'll be back in 50, 60, and 70 years to celebrate your graduation. Please let's give them another round of applause. The road to graduation from Washburn University should offer students more than the completion of an array of courses that is then rewarded with a diploma. Graduates should be given the opportunity to be transformed by their Washburn experience. The goal of a higher education institution is not to turn out graduates, but to graduate students who turn out to be highly principled citizens who make a difference. Students pursuing an undergraduate degree have the opportunity to participate in up to 4 different transformational experiences. These Washburn transformational experiences are described on page 8 of your program. Today, we would like to recognize those students who have completed 1 or more Washburn transformational experiences by asking them to stand. Students, if you have participated in a Washburn transformational experience, will you please stand? Thank you very much. You may be seated. That is truly an exceptional part of our educational experience here at Washburn, and it is very rewarding to see so many students who've taken advantage of that opportunity. We are very pleased to have students representing the following countries who are graduating with degrees from Washburn University this afternoon. Would our international students please stand and remain standing as your country is mentioned? Belgium, China, Japan, Nepal, and Saudi Arabia. You may be seated. Dr. Farley will now introduce the Sibberson Award finalists and the Sibberson Award recipient for the spring 2018 graduating class.
Thanks to a very generous gift to Washburn University by Erna and Gretchen Sibberson, an award has been established to honor the most deserving student selected from among the highest ranking members of the senior class in the undergraduate program at each commencement. Based on their academic performance, 7 students have been selected as Spring Sibberson Award finalists. I ask each of you to rise when I call your name and remain standing. First, Alyssa Carney. Shelby Dodd. Shelby Dodge, good. Allison Ellsburn. Will Haynes. Mallory Lutz. Catherine Rollins, and Alexis Yelland. Please be seated. Alexis is graduating with a Baccalaureate of Science degree in athletic training. To these students and their families and friends, we extend our congratulations on your outstanding academic achievements. The Sibberson Award Committee recently met to review the credentials of these wonderful finalists and make a recommendation as to the selection of the recipient this year. Allison Ellsburn. Please come forward. That would be great. Allison is graduating with a Baccalaureate of Arts degree with double major in psychology and Spanish. In August, she will begin her graduate program in higher education at the University of North Texas. After she earns her master's degree, she will pursue a career at an education institution. Allison received the Alpha Phi Foundation Sharon Petzold Memorial Scholarship, the Who's Who among students in America universities and colleges, the College of Arts and Sciences Dean Scholarship, the Modern Languages Departmental Award for Excellence in Spanish, the Washburn Transformational Experience Study Abroad Scholarship, the Modern Language Scholarship. Wow. This has been a good business for you. The Modern Language Study Abroad Scholarship, the Givens WEA Scholarship, the Guthrie WEA Scholarship, and was on the President's Honor Roll for all 8 semesters at Washburn University. Allison. Allison will graduate today, summa cum laude. Does that surprise anybody? No. Allison, for your outstanding academic achievements, Washburn University is proud and honored to present you with the Spring Sibberson Award.
To honor these Sibberson finalists, as well as all of our graduates, we have a special presentation of a piece that was created specifically for our 150th anniversary. Ichabods in All We Do. The lyrics to this piece were written by alumna Phyllis Hoffman and can be found on the front inside cover of your program.
Washburn, we yearn to wander your bright halls. Books beneath arms past peaceful waterfalls. As sunlight gleams, so many dawning dreams echo from the towers, chiming every hour. Washburn, Washburn, we vow to care, to strive for justice everywhere, to show our colors bright and true. Ichabods in all we do. Although we leave your warm embrace, the waiting world is a wondrous place. Washburn, Washburn, we vow to care, to strive for justice everywhere, to show our colors bright and true. Ichabods in all we do.
Thank you, Dr. Kellum and the Washburn Singers. We will now proceed to the conferring of degrees. We ask that parents, relatives, and friends use the area in front to the right of the stage designated for taking photographs, so not to obstruct the graduates or the professional photographers. Candidates for these degrees will be presented by their academic dean. Will all candidates for the master's degree please rise? President Farley, those before you and in absentia are candidates for a master's degree. I am pleased to present to you now for the conferring of their degrees those who have completed the requirements and have been recommended by the faculty.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of Washburn University, I hereby confer upon those who have completed the requirements the appropriate degree with all the rights, privileges, honors pertaining thereto. Please sit down and we will call you by row.
President Farley, I present to you the candidates for the Master of Arts in Communication and Leadership, the Master of Arts in Psychology, the Master of Education, and the Master of Liberal Studies degrees.
Thank you, Dean. Those, please come forward to receive your degree.
Master of Arts in Communication and Leadership, Ryan James Dowling. Master of Arts in Psychology, Colby Hope Gilliland. Tessa Ray Graff. Caleb J. Hollauer. JuliAnn Leonard. Jessica Ann Tulloch. Masters in Human Services, Bridget Lee. Master of Education, J.C. Nicole Biggs, Stauffer Scholar. Bailey Ray Butler, Stauffer Scholar. Danielle Joy Mott, Stauffer Scholar. Marcus Ryan Routsong, Stauffer Scholar. Master of Liberal Studies. Carl Stephen Eliasson. Ryan Joseph McCoy.
The master's degree is the highest level of educational attainment in the College of Arts and Sciences and represents more than 30 academic credit hours of advanced study beyond a bachelor's degree. Today, we are awarding master's degrees to 16 students from the College of Arts and Sciences in Communication and Leadership, Education, Liberal Studies, and Psychology. Please, let's give our master's students another round of applause in recognition of their accomplishment. And now, will all candidates for associate degrees or bachelor's degrees please stand? President Farley, those before you and in absentia are candidates for the associate or bachelor's degrees. I am pleased to present to you now for the conferring of their degrees those who have completed the requirements and have been recommended by the faculty. These students will be presented by their academic dean.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of Washburn University, I hereby confer the appropriate degree with all of the rights, honors, and privileges pertaining thereto. Please be seated. The marshals will direct you to the stage.
President Farley, I present to you the candidates for the Associate of Arts, the Associate of Liberal Studies, the Bachelor of Arts, the Bachelor of Education, the Bachelor of Fine Arts, the Bachelor of Integrated Studies, the Bachelor of Music, the Bachelor of Public Administration, and the Bachelor of Science degrees.
Please come forward to receive your degree as directed.
Associate of Arts, Sarah Marie Dreiling. Kinley McKay Jorgensen. Associate of Liberal Studies, Benedict Guerra Areola. Angeli Perla Martinez Hernandez. Mackenzie Nicole Merrill.
Bachelor of Arts, Shauna Marie Allen. Melissa L. Allison, English Honors, magna cum laude. Abdullah Muhammad Asabahai. Olivia Danielle Banzette, History Honors, summa cum laude. JuliAnn Francis Bierman. Shelby Lynn Belts. Areli Bermudez Villarreal. Axel Marcel Bernard. English honors, summa cum laude. Ronald Wyatt Binder. Brandon David Black, magna cum laude, sociology, anthropology honors, psychology honors. Shayla Janae Blydesel. Megan Joanne Borth, political science honors, summa cum laude, university honors. Zurae Marie Bouet. Joshua Brandmal. Desiree Danae Brannick. Mitchell Coy Bratton, cum laude. Riley Dale Brenner, history honors. Alexandria Darlene Brookard. Alyssa Ray Carney, Sibberson finalist, summa cum laude. Aaron Nicholas Childers. Kylie Diane Christian. Leah Marie Coons, mass media honors. Carson Matthew Crane, history honors, magna cum laude. Brandon James Davis, Spanish honors, summa cum laude. Foils. Connor Timothy Dean. Emily Sue DeFore, cum laude. Tavin Dean Dugan. Sarah Catherine Majed Duak, communications honors. Nathan Danielle Eames, summa cum laude. Morgan R. Elutrash, magna cum laude. Allison Nicole Ellsburn, Sibberson finalist, psychology honors, Spanish honors, summa cum laude, and university honors. Kaylee Mackenzie Farmer, magna cum laude. Mark Alexander Fearborn, mass media honors, cum laude. Grace Elizabeth Foyles, theater honors, summa cum laude, university honors.
Mackenzie Lynn Ford, psychology honors, summa cum laude. Danielle M. Fulton. Zachary Scott Gillis. Talon Aaron Golightly. Danielle Nicole Hall. Erica April Harper. Bailey Hannah Harris Kruger. William P. Haynes, Sibberson finalist, Political Science Honors, summa cum laude. Kaylee Christine Hayes. Jordan Taylor Henderson. Adriana Ruth Hendricks, magna cum laude, University Honors. Rebecca Ann Herman. Joshua Michael Hernandez. Gabriel Sean Hillibert. Lori Lee Holstrom. Trevor Macon Huffman. Jacob Dale Humphrey, magna cum laude. Igor S. Ibragimov. Susumu Iwama. Jalen Ray Jenkins. Joyce Ann Johnson, cum laude. Quentin Chase Johnson. Caitlin Ray Jones, cum laude. Ian Richard Kalis. Christian Olin Koth. Colleen McVeigh Kelly. Alexandria Danielle Kennedy. Mackenzie Ann King. Jessica Valley Knief. Emily Jean Kobzar, English Honors, magna cum laude. Mark Kotich, summa cum laude. Caleb Allen Lamp.
Brandon K. Larkey, magna cum laude. Kevin Lee Lewis, Jr., cum laude. Jennifer Lynn Lawrence, Communication Honors, magna cum laude, Link Bonner Scholar. Adam Latansky. Alan Dale Long, Jr. Mallory Kathleen Lutz, Sibberson Finalist, History Honors, Summa Cum Laude, University Honors. Delaney Joanne Markle, Cum Laude. Taylor Jade Maria. Tyler Jacob Matthias. Caitlin A. McGee, Psychology Honors, Summa Cum Laude. Sarah Dawn McElrath, Sociology and Anthropology Honors, Magna Cum Laude. Marissa Nicole Meese, Mass Media Honors, Magna Cum Laude. Cassidy Brianna Merriman, Psychology Honors, Magna Cum Laude. Malcolm S. Mickelson. Devin Morgret Morrison, Summa Cum Laude. Jesse Lee Bird Nadeau. Takamasa Natsume. Vincent Orion Thompson Neff, History Honors. Mayuki Nishimura, Art Honors, Summa Cum Laude. Alice Wary, Summa Cum Laude. Maria Chris Papalis. Matthew Lewis Parnell, History Honors, Cum Laude. Derek Allen Porting. Kyle Lewis Quiet. Adam Jack Rankin. Michael Anthony Reynolds. Terry Stewart Richardson II. Madeline Pushpa Reek, Cum Laude. Leandro Rodriguez. Caitlin Suzanne Rollins, Sibberson Finalist, Mathematics and Statistics Honors, English Honors, Summa Cum Laude, University Honors. Paige Roddybush. Troy C. Russell, Sociology and Anthropology Honors, Cum Laude. Kaylee Marie Schoenfelder, Biology Honors, Summa Cum Laude, University Honors. Derek Austin Teskey Shorts. Kristen Michaela Shook, Psychology Honors, Cum Laude. Alexis Marguerite Simmons, Magna Cum Laude, Political Science Honors. Danielle R. Sipe. Matthew Allen Slater, magna cum laude. Randall Romero Smith, Jr. Alyssa Morgan Sparks. Evan Lewis Stilgenbauer, Psychology Honors, magna cum laude. Andrea Danae Stitt, cum laude, Link Bonner Scholar. Gannon Willoughby Terrian, cum laude. John Ryan Thompson, English Honors, summa cum laude. Victoria Lane Toothaker, magna cum laude. Skylar Paul Urban, Political Science Honors, summa cum laude. Scott Lee Weinkoff. Aaron Christopher White. Alan Mitchell Williford. Taryn Ray Wilkins, cum laude. Jess Danielle Wilson. Indigo Rose Wilson Schmidt, English Honors, summa cum laude. Min-Shi Yao, cum laude. Erica Nicole Yoder, History Honors, cum laude. Koichi Yoshisaki. Alexandra Jane Zelkovitz.
Bachelor of Education, Tiffany Amber Benedict, Education Honors, magna cum laude. Stefan D. Cunningham. Shelby Ray Dodds, Sibberson Finalist, Education Honors, summa cum laude. Sydney Doty. Gabrielle Deanne Dunphy Marney. Taylor Kelly Graham. Paul Danielle Muzzy. Darian Lee Sanner, cum laude. Tawny Ray Schrod. Emily Claire Stoffer, Education Honors, summa cum laude. Taylor Marie Walker. Taylor Danae Willis, cum laude. Bachelor of Fine Arts, Rebecca Lynn Armentrout. Jennifer Diane Bartlett. Jasmine M. Brown. Harvey Leroy Flowers, Art Honors, cum laude. Lexi Lemons. Abigail Rose Miller, Art Honors, summa cum laude, University Honors. Kritika Sadanan Shetty, cum laude. Sarah L. Tenbrink, magna cum laude. Anita Cheryl Young, Art Honors, magna cum laude. Bachelor of Integrated Studies, Rachel Flanagan, cum laude. Alex Edward Head. Ricardo L. Oliveri. Bachelor of Music, Jason Robert Lewin. Ryan William Masato, Music Honors, summa cum laude. Allison Rose Nelson, cum laude. Kale L. Paquette, Music Honors, summa cum laude. Paul Antrim Pretty, Music Honors, magna cum laude. Jasper Austin Shrake. Timothy Douglas Smale, Music Honors, summa cum laude. Bachelor of Public Administration, Mary Esther Todd, cum laude. Rachel A. Wells. Bachelor of Science, Logan Reed Appenfeller, Biology Honors, magna cum laude. Paul Ely Bergeron, Biology Honors, cum laude. Takesha Lachelle Cooper, University Honors. Ann A. Elliott. Ashley Enneking. Anna Jordan Erickson. Kimberly Euler, magna cum laude, Biology Honors. Ashley Marie Herkin, Biology Honors, magna cum laude, University Honors. Lair Heslip. Rachel Marie Hoover, Kinesiology Honors, cum laude. Kerrigan Elizabeth Johns. Hannah I. Johnson. Sho Kato, magna cum laude. Andrew Zebulon Koster. Delmetrius Renee Miller. Bridget Nicole Menelano, Mathematics Honors, cum laude. Claire Marie Pickert, Biology Honors, cum laude. Dustin Planky, cum laude. Brandon O. Pokrant. Peter Powell, Biology Honors, summa cum laude. Alex John Rottinghouse, Mathematics and Statistics Honors, magna cum laude. Tucker B. Shell. Devin Bethany Schmitz. The Devin, cum laude. Caitlin Page Skillestat, magna cum laude, Mathematics Honors Society. Nicholas Edward Sloop. Michael Richard Smalley. Raju Tapaleya. Jessica Maris Tharp. James Werner von Schriltz. Jessica Anna Watts. Alexis Vale Yellen, Sibberson Finalist, Kinesiology Honors, summa cum laude. Jacob Martin Yankee, Biology Honors, Chemistry Honors, cum laude.
We are proud to welcome 258 bachelor degree graduates and 13 associate degree graduates as new alumni of Washburn University. Please let's give our associate and baccalaureate students another round of applause. Before concluding the ceremony, graduates, I would like to underscore that this is a moment of transition. You entered Lee Arena as the final step in completing your degree. As you leave today, you begin your exciting future by joining thousands of proud Washburn University alumni. In that regard, it is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Mike Mustaine, President of the Washburn University Alumni Association Board of Directors.
Thank you, Dr. Mazachek. President Farley. On behalf of more than 44,000 living Washburn alumni, I congratulate you on your graduation from Washburn University. You're joining the ranks of alumni from across the nation who all have the same thing in common. We're all Ichabods. Like them, you have developed a permanent and lasting relationship with Washburn. As such, your continued involvement will help shape Washburn for the generations of Ichabods who will follow in your footsteps. Throughout the rest of your life, the Alumni Association will keep you connected to Washburn University and your classmates. Today, our graduation gift to you is a complimentary one-year membership in the Alumni Association. Simply claim it and it's yours. Membership information is outlined on the postcard on your chair. Your family and friends are welcome to join too. Those of you in the stands, you're welcome to join. You don't have to be a graduate to join the Alumni Association. Being a member of the Alumni Association is all the fun of college without homework and tests. You got it. No homework, no tests, and it's free. Don't be afraid to get involved and be a part of the fun. Your fellow alumni will welcome you with open arms. Keep in mind, the university's reputation is built on the success of its graduates. We know you will go on to do great things and make us proud. On this day of graduation, we wish you happiness, good health, and prosperity. Congratulations, Ichabods.
Will all graduates please rise and remain standing? Before we move to the next step, I need you to make sure your tassel is on your right-hand side of your cap. Okay, congratulations, graduates. As a symbol of your great achievement, please move your tassel to the left side of the mortarboard to indicate your new status as alumni. We conclude the spring 2018 commencement with the singing of the Alma Mater by the Washburn Singers. The words are located on the inside cover of your program. Please remain standing for the recessional. Graduates, family, and friends, we at Washburn wish you only the very best in your future. Go Bods.
A song of a prairie's wide, a song of our trees is strong, a song of our pride, the true and the tried, of our college dear, a song. Washburn, Washburn, we love thee well, ours is the joy, thy praise to swell, with voices free, we'll sing of thee, and ever thy praise will tell. The winds for thee music make, the prairies their strength reveal, our glorious state, our Kansas great, on thee has set her seal. Washburn, Washburn, we love thee well, ours is the joy, thy praise to swell, with voices free, we'll sing of thee, and ever thy praise will tell.